You're listening to 35KY Sports. You got Murph.
On the building, the real matter BBN.
And we got a special guest in the studio with us. Your player partner, big homie, the voice from Louisville. What's going on with you, big dog?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Man, so over the weekend, Kentucky played Florida in rough, ended up taking an L 66-64. The Cats have had just a crazy week. They went down to South Carolina earlier last week and took an L as well. Man, we gotta go to you, man. Now, what's going on with the Cats, dog? Two L's. This is the first SEC loss in rough since 2014. Cal said y'all alright in the press conference?
They didn't trust Cal. I don't even see why everybody getting. Well, I can see why Louisville fans the only fan base that get happy for other teams' success versus Kentucky because they don't have none. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about Louisville right now.
Hold on. But
Let's talk about Kentucky.
You see how the energy changed, right? Energy changed every time Kentucky.
You told us we need to be more upbeat.
Since we busted our little brother 90-61 on December 29th, we've been 3-3
Can we talk about 2018?
New Year.
That was last.
Can we talk about 2018?
I'm trying to give y'all explanation. What happened was we got cocky, you know, and these kids ain't playing. I think yesterday was the first game since the Georgia game that we actually been healthy with all our quote-unquote key players. I'm not panicking. I ain't jumping off the bridge. I'm sitting back enjoying the ride. This team remind me of that 2010 team with Brandon Knight, where some games we win, some games we lose that we should have won, and at the end of the day, we see where that team ended up. Like, this team is built to win the championship. When I look at the teams ranked ahead of us, none of them scare me. We talking about Oklahoma at number 4. We talking about Xavier as possible number 1. We talking about Purdue. Purdue team that beat y'all, barely beat Louisville. We talking about that's like a number 3 ranked team in the country. This year in college basketball with Kentucky, every time Kentucky's down, college basketball is down that year, which gives the reason why Louisville won in 13. But we gonna bounce back. It was, I think, what made the loss worse though, honestly, was right before the game.
Which loss though?
No, as I said, hold on.
Real quick,
the South Carolina loss was terrible. You know, I don't even want to talk about that. I don't even want to say that game was terrible.
We traveled to South Carolina. What night was that this week?
That was on
Tuesday night. 68-76 loss in South Carolina. Jared Vanderbilt made his debut. Just kind of, you know, give me what you saw from Vanderbilt his first game and long awaited. And is he the piece for moving on past, you know, this rough week, you know, a transitional week as far as roster as well?
To me, Jared Vanderbilt is the type of player that this team is missing once he gets playing and get used to playing in this type of competition and realize that teams that we play not really that good, they just gonna play that good versus us for that one game. Then afterwards they back to who they are. But the South Carolina game, we played 6 players. Shai Alexander had to play the whole game. We played Vanderbilt at like point guard 3 games. This is
a foul play game as well.
Yeah, this is what, as a Kentucky fan, if the CBA do change and players able to start going to the NBA after high school, this is what college basketball is going to look like as a Kentucky fan. We just got enjoyed that loss. It was a road game. We lost at Tennessee because of P.J. Washington. I'm going to say because he cramped up because he was giving it to the Williams kid. But I'm just enjoying the ride. Like, I'm not a...
I will give it Vanderbilt solid performance for 14 minutes in your first action of the year. 6 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, so some versatility. I really didn't know much about the enigma that has become Jared Vanderbilt this season because, a little controversy surrounded by him when he was going to actually dress and take the floor for the Cats this season. But okay, we advanced. We dropped that game Tuesday night, South Carolina. We come out, we pick ourselves up off the mat, and we come into college game day last night against the mighty Florida Gators. They come in Rupp Arena, a place where y'all win 90% of y'all home games, and they pulled a win out last night. I mean, we gotta face the facts, man. They pulled a win out last night.
Man, I'm doing what Louisville fans do, man. The refs effed us last night.
66-64 was a controversy. I would say.
I'm not even.
Y'all think that was a foul?
It was a foul, but I'm not one of them. I don't hang a play on the game on the play.
Dude pretty much had his forearm in his face.
Yeah, I mean,
thought I was watching football or rugby or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was pretty rough, man. He almost took his head off.
But it's still no guarantee that you had showed it's still PJ Washington is like a 61% free throw shooter. So at the end of the day, even though it was a foul, there was no guarantee he was gonna hit both of them free throws. I'm more upset about, for one, Kevin Knox needs to play defense, which everybody knows the first simple thing in defense is getting down in the defensive stand. If you're 6'9" already guarded 6'5", 6'6" wing players, if you're not down in the defensive position playing, you're already out of luck. His man beats him off the dribble every time. He's one of them players that if he's not scoring, he's disinterested in the game. That's one thing Cal needs to fix it up. Quade Green needs to calm down. You know, I know he sees the tweets and all that about Kentucky fans wanting Trae Young over him, which he did because I did. When I seen him go head to head in the Peach Jam final that summer before their senior season, I wanted Trae Young. But at the same sense, you heard, you bought us Diallo, you bought us Knox, you bought us Vanderbilt. So just play your part. That last three at the end in the corner, when he hit the side of the backboard rushing, trying to be a superstar. Just every player need to play their part. There's no superstar on this team. Play your part. Everybody average 10. Let's rock out.
So I look at the box score from last night, and you spoke of everybody average 10. Well, only 2 players made it to double figures last night. That's a bit alarming from where you all been at. Shy, you know, he came through with some second half scoring form. And when you look at the rest of, really not a lot of production. Diallo's kind of hit a wall where I'm even hearing some groans from Cat fans saying Diallo, you know, just ain't got it. Like he should have left last year without nobody seeing him play.
Well, this is every year with Kentucky fans. When one player on another team is doing good and ours is struggling, they always want our players gone and and the other team players. It's part of it. The wall that our players is hitting now. I'm kind of, people gonna say it's late in the season, but I would take it now compared to when by SEC tournament we figure out what's going on. We get our special Cal tweak that we get every year going into the tournament.
He had been prepping that to the fans that much this year. It seems like every year he does kind of prep.
He ain't trying to
Cal tweak.
I'm about to say he know this team is one of them. Let's try to shock the world, but let's not put them expectations up there because we'll be lucky to get past the second round this year.
Do you think that this is more of, man, I really don't have the talent where I need it at, so I got to live off the hype? Or is it the talent hasn't fully broke out yet, but it's there?
That's what I think. Because when I look at it, I still see where we're not getting what we need from Knox, and he's still giving us 14 points a game. That's what's scary. Diallo is nowhere near where when we watch him, anybody that really knows sports, you know Diallo, when he becomes a finished product, he got a chance to be. Now, I really like this team. I'm not going to say I'm in love with them like I have with previous Kentucky teams because they don't have that it factor. But some games they have won close at the end that some of the past teams would have lost. So it showed me that they have it on there. They just need to realize, besides 2 players, everybody else should not be thinking about the NBA. Let's just finish this out. Let's focus on college basketball and getting better as players.
But that's the culture that he's created, is to worry about the NBA. So
I mean, that's cool. I'm not saying that's not a bad culture to think about. Get your money if you can. Now I believe that, but at the same sense, with this team, they need to realize their money is coming after next year, not this year. You know, you have to put your 3-year guaranteed contract a year later. You know, push it back a year. With who we got coming in next year. Next year, as a Kentucky fan, we shouldn't have to worry about the brotherhood going on down there in Tobacco Road. You know, we'd be good.
The brotherhood.
I got a quick question wrapping up last night's 66-64 game. Just looking at, you know, I'm a numbers guy, looking at the box score, looking at this team stat. Are you a bit worried about 16 turnovers at this point in the season with ball security as well and point guard play? And then the three-point shooting. Last night wasn't a great three-point shooting night. 4 of 17. Y'all do not rely on the three ball. That's not really a weapon you all utilize. But, 4 of 17 can leave a lot to be desired as far as shooting and improvements on that. So just kind of some thoughts on that moving forward as we advance the Kentucky basketball conversation.
The 3-point shooting, I'm cool with 4 for 17 because this team is not a 3-point shooting team, so I don't want to try to force something that's not there. A lot about what's wrong with our 3-point shooting is the shots that we take, like Kevin. Now, for one, I'm putting a lot of this on Kevin Knox. Like, he has to realize his game. We know you want that Kevin Durant type game, but at this stage right now, we need you to working off them curls, coming off that curl from the baseline, coming at the free throw line, and we need you working down low, then go out.
He doesn't have unlimited range right this
like,
point.
Not like he think he does.
I've seen him take some shots where his, you can look at younger players, they can learn from this, but when your form changes, the further you move away from the basket, you've moved out of your range.
Yeah, you out of your range.
And I saw that last night with some of the deep threes. Like, granted, it was, a desperation three, but it showed, like, where your range is, and you're not, at this point, you're not really a 3-point shooter. If it is, just basically on the line, towing it. At this point where he's at, the turnovers, 16 turnovers, point guard play. Because they're 7,
playing freshmen and our only veterans is a big man in William Gabriel and Killian Jones. 16 turnovers is not scary to me. That's D. Now if it was like 24, 25, then I would have been like, well, hold on. We average 11 a game. So that's 16, a little 5 more than we wanted. But sometimes that goes from Shy's getting a little more looks now. They saying he's right outside the lottery. He's sneaking in, so now he's forcing a little more now.
Feeling himself. He got his ears lowered, man. He don't know this dude, man.
The point guard play is cool. I'm more excited about the play we getting from Sasha Killian Jones and William Gabriel at this point because that's who we need to lead this team. So there's no, as a Kentucky fan, please, there's no need to get in panic mode. I know a lot of our fans is a bunch of spoiled fans. I'm gonna say it like that. We're a bunch of spoiled fans, and we hate seeing other schools have success that we're used to. So let's just sit back and enjoy the season. That's all we can do.
Y'all got coming up this week, Mississippi on Tuesday, and then number 6 West Virginia on
next Saturday at West Virginia.
What's our wager on that? What do you want to put on that? It doesn't have to be much.
Man, I'm going with my squad. I ain't scared.
I know, man. What are we putting? What do we got?
Man, look.
You grab that little pint or something, man.
I got you. I got something for you.
Okay.
I got something for you.
All right.
So what y'all think that Kentucky has to do this week to bounce back? I mean, Mississippi State ain't no slouch, and West Virginia, you going to West Virginia? That's gonna be a tough game to win.
The top 5 team.
Yeah, right. Yeah, number 6 right here.
But we got Huggins numbers.
Turnovers play a big role in games, especially, when you having 16, they said Gabriel averaged 5 rebounds. He's going to have to bang them boards hard, you know what I'm saying? With the amount of turnover that Kentucky is having right now, he's going to have to definitely be aggressive in that paint.
And I didn't mean to cut you off, but kind of speaking on them turnovers, a lot of them was unforced, just trying to force a pass down low. Like, it'd be one time, because we was going to William Gabriel down low. When they switched, they had the guard on them. Their point guard Watson. Actually, it was Watson was guarding Gabriel. So we feed them down there. So when the coach finally realized what was going on, he was bringing the trap earlier. So instead of faking it and wrapping the ball back around the perimeter, then trying to come back, we would sit here and try to do the fancy pass it between 2 people. So there's a lot of things that game, everything's fixable. It was nothing that's like, oh man, we're doomed. Like, everybody's trying to make it seem like it's fixable problems. And at this stage, we got one more loss than I would like at this stage, but this is my team. We go rock out with it. That's all I can say.
So we're 14-5 midway through January. The Cats, after the game, kind of to me, some cookie cutter cliche comments from Calipari. Let's see what was exactly his comments was. We're going to be fine, and I know that's a sentiment he uses. Just kind of talk about the kid gloves he's using with this team. In better words, I'll say, is kind of just handling this team, which a lot of disgruntled fans and other basketball fans are looking at this team as soft to begin with. So what's the soft coaching aspect coming from with Calipari? We're going to be fine if we're sitting at 14-5 in mid-January with the likes of West Virginia coming up. and other teams. You got the same record as Mississippi State. Don't act like y'all on top of
No,
that.
I didn't say that, but I didn't know 14-5 was a failure of a season.
It's not a
at this
failure
point.
of a season.
When you're
moving forward,
you-
and you're
it's
using
not
kid
a-
gloves. We're going to be fine now, but we've had 16 turnovers the last 2 games, which has been L's. We need these are areas that need improvement. Like, I don't need to hear we're going to be fine and we're turning the ball over at a clip like that.
I mean, but what do you want your kid to say when his whole team is being relied on as a bunch of 18, 19-year-old freshmen? It's bad enough they hearing everybody else in the media that's saying they soft, they saying this, they saying so. At this point, it's time for him to be the coach and bird feed them and lead them along. We are fine. I don't even see what okay, as a Louisville fan, if this team returned 4 seniors that been in the program for 4 years and 3 juniors that been in the program for 3 years and a couple sophomores, and if we were sitting at this record and we didn't know what we could do, then it would be different. But we playing our top 6 players is freshmen. And this is literally, he says it every year that we have one of the youngest teams in the country, but this is literally one of the youngest teams in the country. When you have the youngest team in the country with no elite player on that team, this is what you're going to have. It's a bunch of 5-stars, but they're not the elite 5-stars that we're used to as a Kentucky fan.
That's a perfect transition going into our next conversation. You're listening to 35KY Sports, watching 35KY Sports on YouTube. Yo, so the big announcement over the weekend, Zion Williamson, 8:15 on ESPN2. I mean, this is one of the top elite athletes.
The most viewed and watched athletes in the YouTube social media
So
era.
pretty much, I mean, the biggest high school player to come out since LeBron, I would say. He commits to Duke, and just like you alluded to, you said that Cal's not getting that top tier 5-star kids anymore. This is like maybe the 3rd or 4th season where he hadn't got a top 5 player. What's going on with Cal and what's going on with recruiting where you're not landing the Zion Williamson?
We still gonna have the number 2 recruiting class in the country, so it's not really that bad.
But you're not getting those elites.
That goes to, if you lose somebody like Orlando Antigua, who that's what he do, he was able to connect with these players and these kids, and that's who was really bringing them in here. Then we replace him with somebody like a Tony Barbie, who besides Kentucky running better offensive plays, I really see no reason for him being on the coaching staff. It's a lot behind it. Nike, and I'm putting this out there because I'm a big Nike guy in the city, I promise you. Y'all keep on messing over my cats, man. I'm gonna switch to Adidas, and we're gonna change the whole landscape of Kentucky sponsorships and everything. But Nike ain't messing with us too much. Phil Knight, I've been saying it since the Phil Knight Classic that Nike was mad. But see, y'all don't understand the power behind these shoe companies, man. Kentucky is a premier Nike school. Us not doing to that Phil Knight, which was set 3 years ago, which is when our downfall again, recruits started happening. It's showing. You know, Cal said it when the tournament went on, that Phil Knight called him and said, when you come out here to Oregon, won't mean you sit down and have coffee. Oh, wait, you're not coming. That right there, and since, 2015 was the last year when we got all them stuff. There was the Harrison twins, James Young, Julius Randle, Dakari Johnson. After that, we haven't got nobody. The next year, we lucked up with Jamal Murray because we missed Malik Newman, Steven Zimmerman, Jalen Brown, our main target. So this been going on. People's just not realizing.
You know what? Y'all don't have the brotherhood. That's
But here's the thing. Our brotherhood was more sincere and real when Calipari got his Hall of Fame speech. He brought everybody up there. He has that brotherhood, but it's Nike and the NCAA and everybody's trying to give Mike Krzyzewski, the greatest coach ever, a last championship before he goes out.
So what y'all think about Zion picking Duke? Is that a good decision? Why y'all think he picked Duke?
I mean, just look at region, you know what I'm saying? Coming down south, Duke's king, you know what I'm saying? You get Duke, North Carolina, Clemson probably had a little play, but you know what I'm saying? I know from a recruiting standpoint, Duke probably had more hands in the barrel just because of regional location. Now, had it been a little further north or a little further west, maybe the UK, but the whole Nike and all that, Duke's Nike, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got the commercial with the kid, with the dream.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I just think regional, and then you add a familiar face. You know what I mean?
And they have.
And then the top three?
Yeah. See, I wanted Zion Williamson, but I wanted R.J. Bird. R.J. Bird and Ball are the two main players I wanted Kentucky to get this year. We missed out on. And the top 5 players, Kentucky at one point going into the summer was favored for all of them, so they said. Then all of a sudden, we lose out on R.J. Bird. That's who put 40 on Cal over there over the summer in the Olympics. He put 40 on Cam Reddish. We lose out on Cam Reddish, the number 3 ranked player. Then we lose out on Ball, the number 4 ranked player. And now we're losing out on Zion. So, yeah, he lost Zion Williamson to Duke next year. I hope everybody has that same energy like they gave Calipari that 2015-16 season with better go 40-0. You have all this talent. You got the number 1, number 2, number 3 ranked player. You got the number 1 point guard in the country in Trey Jones. And you probably going to talk some of these kids into coming back. Besides Bagley, you're going to have Bolden probably coming back. Gary Trent Jr. probably going to come back. And the other big man, Wendell Carter, probably going to come back. So next year, the deck is stacked for Duke next year. So it's actually dope because I think Calipari got lazy on the recruiting scene. He got cocky.
Something happened because I know for a fact in the last 3 years, it just ain't been that. It's kind of like seeing that fine girl in high school. And y'all get grown and you like,
nobody.
Boy, I used to like you. Yeah, it's like I'm looking at UK like, for real. Where's the hype?
What had me questioning honestly was when we lost Jaylen Brown to California. Which, okay, we understand he wanted to play with Ivan Rabb. They was doing the Super League. But then we lose Steven Zimmerman to UNLV and Malik Newman to Mississippi State. And we was all in on Malik Newman since the 8th grade. Like, we was in on him. So when I started seeing that, I started like, dang, something's going on. And I thought it was more so losing Antigua. But it's looking like to be a little bit more behind that.
Do you think that the hype of the BBN, the We Are College Basketball is leaving? Because you saw this in college football because playing time and bonds became more of a highlight than it was just to get the one and done and set up your NBA career. Because that's why you now have schools like Purdue, you got schools like Utah in college football that have landed some big name recruits as compared to the Ohio States, Floridas, Michigans, and things like that.
I'm going to say, just like we just seen over the summer with this scandal, it's higher things going on that's keeping some players from going to Kentucky. That we're not, as a Kentucky, as Calipari and how he moved, certain things he just can't do that certain coaches can do. If Mike Krzyzewski go in there and pay a player, who gonna question it? He did it with Corey Maggette. Myron Piggy got locked up for it, so known fact $50,000 was paid for that. So some things with certain players, Krzyzewski's gonna get away with that Calipari. He walks a very thin line. Then negative recruiting. Oh, look at the Harrison twins, they didn't pan out. Oh, look at the Corey Johnson, top 10 player, he didn't pan out. Look at James Young, he didn't pan out. So when you got all these things going against you as a coach, it don't have
let's not sit here and act like UK.
Hey man, we clean, bro. We clean, man. We clean. Hold on, who's that dude? Tim Martin, I think that's his name that we record. He said Krzyzewski and Calipari are probably the only 2 coaches in college basketball that when the FBI stuff came out, they really didn't have nothing to worry about.
Right.
Because of the way that they moved.
Right.
They don't have
prior
to.
instances of the university getting caught, then it got smarter.
But Calipari never paid a player though, so.
Well, never got caught.
He never paid one, so you can't say he never got caught if he never.
Well, I'm just saying never got caught. Because I can't say he never paid a player.
I don't judge. I don't put accusations on people that I don't have concrete evidence.
I'm just saying that's 2 different statements. Never paid a player and never got caught is 2 totally different things.
But you can't say never got caught if you don't have proof that he paid. We get accused all the time, but we can't.
Okay, I'm just saying this. There's no way that you're getting dominant players who can go to a Kansas, a UCLA, or somewhere and say if LeBron James in high school was getting these things, And the only reason why LeBron James, I think, didn't go to college because it was just so flamboyant.
He couldn't anyway. He didn't need to.
Right, but these other schools, you don't think they're offering some kind of incentive?
Maybe
something. Forget education.
No, I ain't saying they. Now, look, I'm not saying they're not getting that little prepaid card with a couple thousand on it to go spend. But to sit here and think that at this point, after the John Wall team, after that team got drafted the way they did, when he made the comment that Kentucky fans hate, the greatest night in Kentucky basketball history, having them players drafted that night. After that day, there's no point of me giving you $100,000 now when, regardless of who you are, you're going to get $1 million. You're going to get drafted and make your money after 1 year at Kentucky. Why give you that little bit of money? Now, other schools have to do it to keep them from going to Kentucky. That's like with Anthony Davis. It came out $200,000. Illinois assistant tried to put that out there, and they try to make like because he picked Kentucky, that's what Kentucky gave him. When in actuality, why didn't they put out there that his daddy said, if you want to lock up my son, this is what you have to pay because I know what my son can get from going to Kentucky, as in the future, not now.
Right.
I'm not. He don't have to put himself in that position. Now we may have to get back in that bag of tricks because it's not looking too good. He can't just walk in there and I'm Kentucky. Either you want to be here or you don't. If you don't, then cool, I can move on. Them days is over. Krzyzewski the sweet in Jeff Cable, one of the dirtiest coaches. We seen what he did in Indiana and everything. We already know. We know with him what's going on. Why people trying to act all cool and everything. We know Jeff Cable is one of the dirtiest recruiters out there too. And I'm putting that out there.
Can I insert myself?
Nah, not I had to let this out, man. They was on me last night on the phone.
I let him vent though because I did come at him hard in the group chat.
He was on my neck last night.
But you know, in all due respect, this is to a very spoiled fan base that is crying about losing out on numerous All-Americans in the meanwhile while they're still getting All-Americans and landing them. So it's really no issue to kind of reset the table. Zion Williamson last night, that decision seemingly came out of left field. I mean, we were throwing signals for the last month that, supposedly Kentucky was at the picture and it was South Carolina and Clemson.
And North Carolina.
Those were some seemingly the options, and we'd heard about him building a relationship with Dabo, his stepfather, being a big part of it, him wanting to go to Clemson and stay home, and he's a different kind of kid, South Carolina pride. He's from Spartanburg. So last night, I truly expected him to put on an orange and purple hat. I mean, they had built this narrative up. And then when he really reached under that table, I was jaw dropped. And pulled that blue Duke hat out. I was jaw dropped. I'm not really in the fact that.
But the way that he said it, he said, I'm joining the brotherhood of Duke basketball.
Well, so that showed you it was probably worked out prior to. But I knew coming from Spartanburg and seeing him ball because I've got friends that coach down there. I don't know if South Carolina had enough dominance to get him. Now, South Carolina in the future, the next 3 years, if they keep playing like they're playing, they're going to be able to pull that. I knew Clemson. Clemson is.
They was pulling the whole.
The whole. They had that, and the two powerhouse down there, North Carolina do.
And that's still home.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? North Carolina.
North Carolina is probably an hour and 45 minutes from Columbia. And Spartanburg is, about 45 minutes from Columbia. So we said 2 3-hour drive.
That's home.
2-3 hour drive.
And he let it be known too. He was like, I just want to tell my home state, like, this is nothing against y'all. Like, I still love my state, but
this was
at the end of the day, this was a business.
Yeah,
look,
big picture,
yes,
career-wise, where this sets him up to be 5-10 years from now.
You're a Duke Blue Devil, like that means.
Come on, Duke players don't do nothing in the league. If you really want to see the brother, look at whose coach players is doing something in the league, but they don't want to look at
these type of stuff.
Yeah.
He
had them all his whole since 90,
but he ain't had
since 90. He done had
it's different now.
All I know is Donovan Mitchell is going to be rookie of the year. Man, that's all I know. So if you want to. Don't have coaches all in your videos.
I'll argue. Nah, don't come to Louisville because they're going to go get a tattoo and stuff. But nah, Donovan Mitchell is rookie of the year. I ain't going to dispute that. I ain't one of them haters. just like
Yeah, I'm just
he's
messing with you.
So what y'all think about this D Mitchell's emergence, man? Like he had a great game last night, had a couple great games this week as well, man. Like, and it's on every highlight.
So now I go back to say, was Pitino's firing long overdue for Louisville? As you see what happens in the pros,
And he
Yes,
wanted him
sir.
to come back.
you're right. You know what I
It is
mean?
well known that.
Because if you like, he's not doing anything new, anything that he couldn't
It's the
do.
same Mitchell at
Right,
Louisville.
exactly. He's playing his game.
Perfect scenario, perfect team. Gordon Hayward gone. Dante Exum getting hurt the third or fourth game of the summer league. It's your team. Rodney Hood ain't gonna do that. And Donovan Mitchell is legit.
Right.
His freshman year, that Kentucky game when Tyler Eulis basically won the game. From that game, if you really watch that game, he belonged on that court with Murray, with Eulis, with Scal. Like, he showed who he was. And last year I said Louisville was a better team last year when Q got hurt and he was the point guard. That was a totally different Louisville team.
Right.
Then when he came back, he moved to shooting guard. Q came back. It went back to the old Louisville. But that Louisville team, when he was point guard,
Right.
animal.
And I have to agree with you on that, because now you watching Clinton. He's not. You would think this was his year to pop. He's been through it. You got a new coach. You got the leashes off, and you're not popping. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be on that thing like a wild pit bull.
Yeah,
Just,
he is a dog.
you know what I'm saying? And I haven't seen that yet.
I ain't
He's
gonna
had
be
his
hard
ups-
on him.
Yeah, he's had his ups and downs
I
this
live
season,
with
man.
that.
Like,
But it's a lot of pressure. Though. Not everybody
Right.
can handle that.
Right.
The coach is fired. So much. It'd be different if Pitino was just fired and he was able to play. But
Right.
Louisville fans is putting the savior on his back. Like, we
Right.
NCAA sanctions.
Yeah.
We being cheating. Like,
Yeah.
we need you to do all of this. Q, you have to do this.
I don't
And
think
you
the
can look
story's
at
over
him.
here for Q, man.
Nah,
Yeah, because see, I hear so much, and I just
It's
want to
done.
pop because
It's
they
better
say
than coach.
they say he's a beast, and I just want him to pop because I keep hearing, man, he's this, he's that, he's this, man. When he was in high school, he did this and that, and
I think he is what he is right now.
That's him. This
That's
is him. Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be no more evolution of his game. Like, it is what it
He going
is.
overseas
Where he's
with
at
the
now, but
balls.
to me, I just see this. This is a movie script waiting to happen.
Right.
The way that their season going, them going to Final Four, Elite Eight, Final Four, like that kid, he's
Not
probably
happening.
gonna have a big game before it's all said and done, man. So,
I mean, he been playing good the last four.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
they were
they're
trying a
playing-
4-game winning streak. He been playing
Something
good.
like that.
yeah.
It's easy to beat the team y'all ain't supposed to beat. Y'all ain't beat us.
What do you mean? We went to Notre Dame and
I mean, y'all ain't beat no
two
great teams,
overtimes,
though.
yeah.
Y'all ain't beat no
Great
great
game at
teams.
Notre Dame.
that ain't been done in what they say the
Florida
last
State was
decade.
yeah, since '94.
Yeah, last
Ain't
two
win a
decades,
press.
really.
Yeah, that, like
Y'all can't win in rough, though.
Well, since we was talking about the NBA and
Yeah,
something that I thought
awesome.
about when y'all talked about UK about teams playing soft, it kind of seems like the culture of basketball has been kind of soft within the last 10, 15 years. But earlier, like last week, man, like people was throwing in hands.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
Kyle Lowry versus Ben Simmons. Who else was it? Erna Flalo and the other guy from I think they were playing
The Magic.
Yeah, the Magic.
Magic Nuggets, man. It was a foreigner. He tried to take his head off.
Yeah,
It's a lot. I don't know what was in
and
the
the
early
Rockets and the
Yeah.
Clippers
So,
going
yeah,
to the
yeah,
locker
yeah,
room.
the Rockets,
What
yeah.
y'all think about that?
Oh man, that was crazy. Like I
Chris
said,
Paul
I don't know
was
what
playing.
happened. I was trying to see did Jeezy drop a new record or something.
No, they
You know
was
what
on
I'm saying?
fight mode this
Man,
weekend.
I'm telling
And,
you.
Your
Your
boy
boy
Ben
some
Simmons,
real-
Jim Lowry told him meet me in the
Yeah,
locker
meet me in
room
the
with
locker
Gordon.
room.
They ran around back and had an altercation. Like, it went down.
So I kind of heard this from a lot of people this week. Do y'all like it? It's like,
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
I love it.
that's the
being
NBA.
tough.
I just want cameras back there so we can see it. And then
Don't run in the back. Do it in front of us in the crowd, man. That's what I want to see. That's the NBA I came on.
Just show us. I just want to say, show us. We know there's cameras in that hallway. Show us cameras in that locker
And
room.
people are
They
saying,
back there. They back there. So yeah.
if people are saying you're taking away from the sport, they gotta understand sports are a thing of passion. And in the heat of battle, you know what I mean? In the heat of battle, tempers are going to flare, and that's doing something for the NBA because you got to remember in the heydays of the golden era of basketball,
That's all
with
they
the
did.
Malones, Jordans, the
Bill Lambert.
In the 70s and 80s, they used to fight way more.
Right, you know what I mean? To where they had to put certain laws. So what I'm saying is, Now that's going to bring in more aggression on the court because you know it's not going to be a UFC or MMA fight.
Right.
But what you will see is players going harder on the court, which can rejuvenate the game back to the aggressive state that certain fans want to see. Because you're right, basketball is real soft. With the new rules and the refs getting more involved, it's more of a game with somebody arguing in a ref.
The refs got early leash, man. Like let the players be a little emotional. Like, I mean, we're still human. Like,
I got to take on that Houston LA thing. That was nuts to me. I don't know if you're not familiar with the situation. Chris Paul returned to LA for his first game against the Clippers since leaving this summer. He left basically $200 million on the table with the Clippers. You know, he put the piece out with him and Jay-Z discussing the offer and all of that extra stuff. So he's in Houston. They're having a great season. He returns to LA. I don't know what he expected from his former teammates. It was well documented. You didn't like Austin Rivers, Blake Griffin. So, you know, of course, it's a high tension, high intensity game. Trevor Ariza actually ends up being the one getting into it with Blake. I don't know if Chris put the battery in his back. I don't know if Chris put the battery in his back or whatever, but Ariza is the one who has beef with Blake and Austin. He's the one taking it out on. I don't know if this is a LA, you know, they link up in the summer type thing. Ariza's ejected. Blake Griffin, I believe, did he get ejected too, or was it just Ariza?
Yeah, I think it was just Ariza.
But Ariza's ejected, so then that's not where it ended. After the game, the reports start flying. Ariza, Jeff.
They go through a secret passage.
Chris Paul, Gerald Green, they stormed into the locker room. James Harden's trying to hold him back. James Harden got into it with Chris Paul, all type of craziness.
And I just want to say, Austin Rivers, you soft, man. You need to keep your mouth closed, man, while you sitting over there.
But they can't. Hey, Austin Rivers is consistent, man, and he is who he is at this point, man. They doing a lot of extra stuff to me at Austin Rivers, trying to make him more like a target to me. Like, at this point, he's a pro, man. He's been in the league for what, 5, 6 years?
But your daddy got you paid, which is, I salute your daddy.
He's a solid player now. He didn't get it
good though. Don't take it like he's not good though.
He didn't get an opportunity like so many players don't get in the NBA, which I ain't mad at his pops taking care of. Because if you don't give a guy past that 3-year mark and he ain't getting to play, we see it with what's your boy you just named from Kentucky, the shooter, James Young, just like Austin Rivers. He was on a bad roster, which happens with NBA guys. If you don't go to the right place, you're screwed. And Austin Rivers obviously wasn't. Where was he at? New Orleans or somewhere? The start of the
They drafted him and Davis.
It just was. New Orleans not a good franchise. Period. It wasn't a good fit. Pop threw him a lifeline. He saved him, no doubt. But that's no reason for nobody to hate. Because if your father was in that position in the NBA, he'd do it for you, and you want it, and you shut your mouth. You feel me? Like, the white man does it all the time for their fellow partners, scratching their son's back and throwing them a bone. Where you can't trip. I was like, that's hate, bro.
Peyton Manning stopped his whole son from getting drafted to a team. Peyton Manning's dad. Remember with Eli? He blocked the whole Saints organization from drafting his son. So
that's pure hate and monkeyness from Chris Paul and them. I know they got some other stuff that went on, but regardless of that, they had $200 million on the table for you. They wanted you back in LA. You talked to DeAndre and them coming back last summer when he was on his way to Dallas. He would have been in Texas this year.
Now he wants to go to Houston.
So
now I seen that Cleveland was trying to get.
So
Cleveland and Houston.
What was it? Ariza, Gerald Green each get 2 games apiece suspended out of the outcome. The NBA kind of was real vague with what happened. You know, security escorted them out and all this. I know the TNT crew had a great laugh on their part.
Chuck and Shaq, they was going in on they said, man, they called the police. He had a police presence in the LA locker room. He said, man, who snitched? Who called the police?
He was like, for Chris Paul, the police? And he's like, I bet nobody walked up on Patrick Beverly in that locker room.
Hell nah.
So, you know, they had a good laugh at these dudes. But
you know it's something special when Shaq and them have a little time with it. So it might bring that aggression back. We need rivalries. You know,
if they can meet up in the playoffs,
that's
for a 7-game series, even though Houston healthy drops them with Harden and Paul, but the intensity it would bring with how chippy it would be.
That'll be a great series if that happens. Another thing that happened in the NBA this week, Paul Pierce, he's an analyst now with ESPN. Him and Jalen Rose were going back and forth about when IT goes back to Boston, him having the video tribute and them doing all this. during his retirement game when his jersey's gonna go up. And Paul Pierce was vocal about it, saying like, no, like I ain't feeling that. I ain't with him having a tribute during my night, you know. So, and Jalen Rose said that, bro, you petty. You petty. Which side do y'all kind of weigh on? Like, do you think Paul has a point, or is it that
Paul
serious?
Pierce is feeling himself a little more than who he really is.
But in Boston, Paul is a legend.
My homie told me that Paul Pierce is more of a Celtic legend than Larry Bird. We argue about that all day. Like he would say Paul Pierce, and I agree with him, but I'm just saying like it's not even that serious.
Right.
We understand they honoring you and you want it all about you, but
so is he being petty?
But at the same time, we don't know what sacrifices he done made for this organization.
he got almost got killed by the man,
Benzino in there.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? So, and then you got to think about his family life and just the thing. So, when it comes to salute me, I want all my just due. Now, I get it, IT. You know what I'm saying? You have some tragic events that happen, but I had tragic events happen while I was playing for this organization. You know what I mean? Not to take away from his sister, passing and things like that. But that's kind of that situation, and then his NBA was his situation.
Because he didn't really do nothing with Boston. I mean, they didn't win a ship or nothing. But and even Rondo got into it like, bro, like, are the Boston Celtics, are they serious? Like, are they really gonna do this? Like, come on, man. Like, what?
Rondo threw a fire shot at him. I threw a dagger at him. It's like they don't honor conference titles.
They don't hang
championship
conference titles up.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Paul, you could say he was being petty, and I felt it to an extent, but I also feel Paul on the aspect of that's my night. I've made contributions to this organization. You gonna salute me, and I think that's the problem with sports teams. We're letting them get away with cutting people. The Steelers cut James Harrison, their all-time franchise leading sack leader, and sent him to the